Matt Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
All right. If you're scoring at home, this week's earworm is Allison by Elvis Costello. Just to let you know. Last week it was Rome by B-52s. Woke up in the middle of the night with it. Now it's Allison by Elvis Costello. No idea why.
Not to be confused by Allison Road by Gin Blossom.
No,
just simply
Allison. My aim is true, which he says about 900 times at the end of the song.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I'm a little confused about his aim. What are you saying about it?
Where are you getting these? Where are you picking these up?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I do have Allison in my Spotify playlist. Okay. But I don't know that I've heard it in a while.
You going to take it out now?
Yeah, probably. Because it drives me out of my mind. I can't. I mean, am I the only one that gets plagued by this all the time?
No, sir. But you're in the unique position where you can create the issue for others who are listening to this now.
That's true, and you're welcome. Especially if you hate Elvis Costello, you're welcome. I actually like him. Do you like Elvis Costello?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Good stuff. Also, over the weekend, just to get it out of the way.
Oh, no.
A couple of football notes. For Keith, you got the Atlanta Falcons loss. He just showed me the roughing the passer penalty that was called toward the end of the game. Jeez, that's it's another one of those.
I think we have
BYU had one of those a couple of weeks ago.
Isn't it fun?
Yeah, it pisses me off.
Yeah.
I mean, where are you supposed to hit this guy? How are you supposed to tackle him? I mean, we've talked about this before where, I don't know, do you put a mattress under him?
I don't think that would have made a difference in this case.
A Casper mattress or a purple mattress. What do we do to soften the blow here for the quarterbacks?
In case you missed it, we have the play.
Let's see it.
Look at this. This is
Watch
brutal.
this.
Turn your eyes. Close your eyes.
Okay, he's got him around the waist.
All right.
He brings him down. It's not like he slammed him to the turf. He just tackled him.
I honestly do not know what
Look at
else
that.
you're
He didn't
supposed
even
to do.
bump his head on the ground.
Don't know what you do. I honestly don't know what you do.
Oh, something's got to be done. Seriously, that is lunacy.
That cost the Falcons an opportunity to win the game. They lost by 6. They were supposed to get the ball. That was third down. They would have gotten the ball back.
Dang.
And they had stopped them earlier on third down, and there was this little holding call. They called it. The refs were determined to give that game to the Buccaneers,
and it worked.
Yeah, it sure did. And
Good for them.
And as
it is Tom Brady, so they're trying to be careful with him. But you can't even tackle the guy.
No, you can't.
Not in any way.
No, flag football.
You can't hit him high because you might bump into his head. You can't hit him low because you might hurt his knees. You can't even wrap him up around the waist and bring him down because.
The era
I don't know
of flag
why.
Football needs to begin
It
week
does.
6 in the NFL.
Either that or they need to stop with this insanity.
Yeah.
Which is my preference, but they're not going to.
Now, as a fellow fan of, have you seen the Ted Lasso show there on Apple TV?
Good.
So good, right?
Yeah.
Roy Kent. He gets a TV job.
Yeah.
And they put him on the air and do some analyzing of what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
If we don't stop talking about this,
you're going to be saying the words that he said?
Roy Kent giving you the analysis of the Falcons Buccaneers game yesterday.
Nice.
So I'm sorry, hey, but Nebraska won.
Oh, yeah, they beat the mighty Rutgers.
No, don't be doing that.
Rutgers.
No, they won.
What are they? The Rutgers
Scarlet Knights.
Scarlet Knights.
Yes.
That's what they are.
It was a night and day. They were losing 13-0.5, won 14-13. Their defense really stepped up. Something they could not have done 3 weeks ago under Scott Frost. I'll tell you that. BYU.
How weird. Did you think you would ever be saying that about Scott Frost?
No, I did not.
That's really sad.
No, but
yeah, BYU blew an absolute golden opportunity to beat the Golden Dome people. They should have beaten Notre Dame, but they did not. So 28-20 if you're scoring that at home.
I saw the AP poll. BYU dropped out. And now James Madison is ranked in the top 25.
James Madison, good golly. Are they FBS now?
Hey, they're 25, so sure.
Wow, they must be.
Yeah.
I guess they must be.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah, BYU had a golden opportunity and just shot themselves in the foot. It was coaching all the way that lost that game. They've got everybody claims, and I believe it, we've got an NFL-worthy quarterback, maybe even a first-round guy again in Jaron Hall. So he throws we're down 25-20. He throws a 27-yard pass, So it puts us in, I don't know, in Notre Dame territory. Run the ball into the middle four straight times after that.
What is that?
Why do you take it out of the hands of your NFL quality quarterback?
Sounds like you were set
and
up
run
for
it 4 times.
Field goal.
From
but
50-some yards.
But you're down 5, right?
Yeah, down 5.
That makes no sense.
Yeah, stupid. It was stupid. They just, for some reason, they freak out and they're like, we can't pass the ball anymore. So, anyway, Arkansas coming up this week.
Ooh, really?
Yeah. Who does Nebraska have?
This week is going to be, Illinois.
Illinois is good this year. Jeez.
Hang on.
That's a scary one.
It's 6:30 on Saturday. I know that much.
Because
I've got something else going on, and I'm not so happy about that. Yeah, Purdue this week, then Illinois.
Oh, Purdue. Okay. Winnable, right?
Yeah, those are the two teams that are just ahead of Nebraska in the Big Ten West. Let's go.
Wouldn't that be something if they won the Big Ten West?
It would be ridiculous.
That would be something. Huh. Have they given the job to the guy who took over for Frost? No, they're not going to?
Mickey Joseph is just the interim right now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Would you like to see him take it over?
For now, he's my leading candidate. Absolutely. They're talking about Matt Rule, the Panthers coach.
Yeah, and he used to be Baylor's coach.
Yeah. I'm watching Carolina play.
Yeah, that doesn't seem wise.
No, it does not. No, it does not.
Of course, a lot of times these college coaches don't translate to NFL. But all right, so that we got that out of our system, and now, now we got to get Joe Biden into our system.
More football talk.
I'd rather spend the day with that.
Oh, more on trivia was correct. 4-0 now.
Again,
Vikings with the
unbeaten
defeat of the Bears. Yeah, it's unbeaten when Pat's in the house.
Unbeaten.
Yep.
Yeah,
he's Joe Biden.
It's interesting to see Joe Biden count because he's done this before, and he did it when his brain I don't think was mush back 07, 8, somewhere in there.
Yeah. So I guess he's always had a problem.
He's got a problem with numbers.
Simple counting, which I won't cast the first stone.
But
I'll let
still,
you do that.
Come on. Let's see what happened over the weekend.
Okay.
Let me start off with 2 words.
2 words. Here we go.
Made in America.
Made in
America.
2 words. It's not that hard, people.
Yeah,
it's really not that hard.
Big of a challenge.
Let me start out with 2 words.
2 words.
Made in America. 2 words. Made in America.
Someone online said, watch Merriam-Webster's dictionary change in America to 1 word.
that will happen. That will probably happen.
Get his back there.
This is from 2008. We've played this for you multiple times.
Look, John's last-minute economic plan does nothing to tackle the number 1 job facing the middle class, and it happens to be, as Barack says, a 3-letter word: jobs. Jobs.
A 3-letter word.
3-letter word.
Jobs.
Now, I'm not
Jobs.
good with math. That seems like
Jobs.
that's more than 3.
No, it's just 3 words.
Okay.
Jobs.
He's good, right?
Oh, he's good.
He's so good.
He's great. And let's go back to that speech from Joe over the weekend. And there's this.
You got over 200 and some people in the Congress who still think the last election wasn't fair, that it was stolen. I stole the election. Even though every major Republican judge in the Supreme Court said, no, there's no evidence of any of that.
Wait, what was that? What did he say there during that speech? What was it? He said something.
You got over 200 and some people in the Congress who still think the last election wasn't fair, that it was stolen. I stole the election.
Did we isolate him saying, I stole the election? Because we need to. That's what I was going for there.
Well, let's not worry about 2016 when everybody, including Hillary herself, said repeatedly that the election was stolen, that it was stolen by the Russians. The Russians did it. The Russians hacked the election and won it for Trump over and over and over and over.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Rasmussen polling has come out and said Look, y'all, we can't really give you accurate polling because of the likelihood of fraud.
Oh, wow.
That's
Wow.
stunning. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Jeez. Meanwhile, the White House published this ridiculous chart on Friday. Jobs created by the president. Wow. I mean, they're just flat out taking credit for all the jobs that have been created in this country. Don't worry about the fact that most of these jobs just came back because we opened up jobs again and people could open up their businesses again after the pandemic. Wow. But they're taking credit for, 500,000 jobs a month?
Yeah.
Yeah, 500,000, a little over. 500,000 jobs on average per month. That's just a flat out lie.
So disingenuous with the lockdowns and all that stuff. They say
Yeah.
Trump lost jobs. My gosh, the economy was booming until the government's decided it's time to lock down and keep people from going to work.
And look at how they make H.W. Bush look bad. Okay, then Clinton. Oh, he was a job producer. Then W. Bush looks terrible. Then Obama was pretty good. Not as good as Clinton. Trump was awful. And look at Joe Biden. What a hero he is.
Lie to me some more.
Jeez. Agonizing.
Those aren't created jobs, by the way. Those are just people finally getting to go back to work.
Yeah.
After the last year of Trump's presidency.
Places like that gym in New Jersey. Remember that? They shut them down over and over and over again. The guys would come down and take those like cutters to the locks that they put on the door.
Oh, bolt cutters.
Yeah. And just cut them off and open it back up. They'd get in trouble. They'd be threatened with jail, fines, now places like that are open.
Yeah,
restaurants are open.
Yep. Remind your friends when they're going to vote this fall, which states were doing that. They were blue states. Those were Democrat governors. The free states were the red ones, by and large. There were exceptions. But those mandates were from the left, predominantly. So just be sure to remind them.
Yeah, because they need the reminder.
How quickly we forget.
It's incredible. We don't have a good attention span in this country. Meanwhile, the FBI assault on pro-life protesters continues. The arrest of this father of 11 is just really outrageous. The FBI, of course, arrested last week that father of 11, charged him with conspiracy against rights secured by the FACE Act and committing FACE Act violations. Paul Vaughn of Centerville, Tennessee, said in an interview that the FBI came to his door, guns pointed at the door, banging on the door of the house, yelling and screaming, "Open up, FBI." Ugh. When I opened the door and saw the guns pointed at me, I asked them what they wanted, who they were looking for, and they said they wanted me. I had the kids in the yard walking out to get in the car to go to school. I was about to take them to school, and there were other kids in the house. So seeing that the easiest path to de-escalation was me in handcuffs, I stepped outside and put an end to the ranting and the banging and the yelling. It's just absolutely outrageous. And this is the one where I think 25 FBI agents came, fully armed, AR-15s pointed at the house and at the father of 11.
But we live in a free country, y'all. Don't forget.
Yeah.
Boy, thank goodness we live in this free country. By the way, 11 more pro-lifers were arrested late last week.
Amid accusations that it's targeting pro-lifers to silence and intimidate, the Justice Department announced, 11 more pro-life activists.
Wow, look at there.
Yeah, isn't that great? Now, because they violated the Freedom of Access to Clinic Entrances Act for blocking the entrance of an abortion clinic in 2021. Now, when you see the video of this, it doesn't look like they're blocking anything. They're lined up on both sides of the hallway, and the cops are passing right through them, as are the people who wanted access to the clinic. Now, they say that abortions were successfully avoided for most of that day. But later on, they got their abortion.
Well, thank goodness.
Yeah, thank goodness.
Get the baby killing done.
Right. You got to get that done.
Close of business.
It's apparently completely acceptable to block an access to a freeway or cut off access to huge swaths of a major U.S. city, as in Seattle, Portland. But don't you dare get in the way of someone trying to get an abortion. Don't you dare. We'll show up with the FBI or a SWAT team or maybe the U.S. Marine Corps, and we'll burn your house to the ground.
Yeah.
Kill everybody in it. Don't you dare get in the way.
Yeah, baby killing is the people's business, and don't you get in the way of that. Now, is the rest of that story, does it talk about all of the fine folks who firebombed abortion or pro-life
there's no mention of that whatsoever.
They don't have a follow-up there of all the guns ablazing and the pounding on the doors looking for people that attack.
The threats, like if abortion's not safe, neither are you, that kind of thing. No, we haven't knocked on any of those doors. Interesting.
Well, that's odd.
I wonder if they just can't find those people. Maybe
that
that's
must be what it is.
They'd love to bring them to justice, but they just can't find them.
Shoot.
Where did they go? It's unbelievable.
And it's evil. And it's dangerous. And my gosh, the future of this country. Do you expect good things?
I hope for good things.
Did I go into a tunnel?
Do I expect that?
Did I go into a tunnel there? I was asking you a question.
Yeah.
You expect really good things?
AM radio, you can't hear it in a tunnel.
Shoot. I'm sorry. Next time when I call you, I'll try not to be going through a tunnel.
Yeah. Ask me that when I come out the other side of the tunnel.
Will do.
Yeah, all right. All right, let me tell you about Bank on Yourself. We've been brainwashed into believing the only way to grow our money for retirement is to risk it in the stock market, with your IRA, your 401k. Those go up and down on the whims of the market. What you need is something that's been successful and has never had a downturn in 160 years. It's called Bank on Yourself. It's a better way to grow and protect your hard-earned money. The retirement plan, this alternative, has never had a losing year in over 160 years. Isn't that amazing? Guaranteed predictable growth in retirement income with no luck, no skill, or guesswork required. Your plan doesn't go backward when the markets tumble. Both your principal and growth are locked in. It's tax-free retirement income. You'll know what your tax rate will be in retirement because it's zero under current tax law, which protects you from the coming tax tsunami that's on the way. And maybe the best reason of all, you'll know the minimum guaranteed value of your retirement savings on the day you plan to tap into them and at every point along the way. You can get a free report with all the details on how the Bank on Yourself strategy adds guarantees, predictability, and control of your financial plan. Just go to bankonyourself.com/unleashed. That's bankonyourself.com/unleashed.
Gray Unleashed.
Hey, did you make it to the other side of the tunnel, Pat?
No, it's a really, really long tunnel.
You're still in the tunnel?
Yeah. So I can't hear you at all.
Then how are you?
I'm just guessing what you're asking me right now. But I really can't hear.
Okay, my bad. All right.
It's kind of weird.
It is weird. Yeah. It's very weird. Very weird.
Did you see the former Obama economic advisor, Larry Summers, over the weekend? He says Biden has failed us on energy. What? Wait.
That's outside the box, right?
Yeah.
That assessment.
Huh.
Look, we made a mistake by canceling the Keystone Pipeline. We made a mistake by slowing down all kinds of permitting activity.
Wow.
We made a mistake by being hostile as a country to natural gas.
What? That's amazing. Mm-hmm. Where'd he get some giblets, I wonder? Where'd that come from?
Yeah, every now and then Larry Summers says some things that...
yeah, he does. He tells the truth.
Yeah. By the way, originally the Keystone Pipeline, after delay and delay and delay and delay, was ultimately going to be ready by first quarter of 2023. I mean, that's so way out there, right? 2023, the first quarter of 2023.
You can't even
so it wouldn't have
see that
made
far
even
in the
a
future.
difference
No.
to our energy issues
No.
had the Keystone been allowed to continue. So there's not even a way to quantify how it would have helped.
Unbelievable.
Yep.
But
So-
you know what? Everything with the economy is going to be fine.
Yep.
Joe Biden's running the show. Let's not forget.
Uh-huh.
So,
Okay.
I mean, that tells you everything you need to know.
Uh-huh.
Am I right?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
So this would be.
Yeah. So there's a neat little way. There's a video going around showing how Joe Biden, with help from the Federal Reserve, can just fix things overnight, and it's pretty simple. And
Yeah.
watch this video here.
Okay. He's just. He's making some changes.
Oh, look, the little F becomes an A plus.
The
Your
C
C minus.
is an
A plus.
plus.
Nice job. Look at that D minus. A plus. Look at this A.
41 becomes an A plus. Oh, that's really smart.
That's good stuff. That's how we're gonna fix.
That's what
things.
he's doing.
You just got to give Joe
Okay.
Biden a Sharpie.
Seriously, that's exactly what that's the kind of stuff they do. Like, we're not in a recession. The recession has nothing to do with 2 down GDP quarters. That had nothing to do with it. Really?
Is that grade change video not the equivalent? I don't know if you have the White House chart again of job creation. That's exactly what that is.
Mm-hmm.
Look at all these jobs we created.
Right.
No, there are
Same
people
thing.
going back to work after the government-imposed lockdowns in various parts of the country.
And look at the title. Jobs created by president.
Average per month.
Okay. The one thing they would tell you, even if the job situation is booming, that's not the president has very little to do with it. Okay. So again, when things are terrible, president has nothing to do with it. When things are better, he has everything to do with it. He is the sole person responsible for gas prices going down, which, by the way, he's still going up. What is the average
Oh, no.
national price? Oh, my gosh. It's back up to $3.91 a gallon
We're in hell.
nationwide. $3.91.
That reminds me, I got to get gas.
And keep in mind, we're in autumn. This is a downturn in the way we drive our cars. Usually it's less. The gas prices start coming down after the summer because nobody's going on vacation, right?
And remember, California, this is including Gavin Newsom saying, oh, we're going to end the summer blend here early to help bring prices down.
How many blends do they have? What isn't it like 17 or 18 different blends in California? And that's part of why gas prices are always so high there. We're going to change to the winter blend right now, a little ahead of time. Oh, wow. Congratulations. Thank you for that. What incredible relief we should experience from you changing blends.
No blends. How about that?
Yeah, how about that? Wouldn't that be great?
How about I give you 4 blends. The 3 regular ones that you get at the pump, the 87, 88, 89, or is it 89, 91? Is that what it is, right?
Something
And
like
then
that.
and then the diesel. There's your blends.
Right.
Make it work.
Diesel is racist, though. We just found that out last week or the
That's
week
true.
before.
Sorry.
So we don't want diesel anymore. That's got to go.
I don't know how many blends there are.
It's a lot. It's a lot of blends. I know that.
Golly. No
Insane.
thanks. No, thank you.
I mean, California just has so many issues that are self-inflicted.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like the fire danger every year. They won't do anything about the forestry, about the kindling that is there. They won't clean that up. They won't do the burns so that it doesn't have that much to burn when they're not in control of it. Same thing with the water, the reservoir situation and what they've done with that.
Yeah, but how's the crime there? Crime's under control, right?
Oh, almost completely.
There's really
except
nothing
for
going on in any of those towns.
in Los Angeles
Yeah.
or San Francisco.
Which, by the way, did you see the FBI released crime statistics? And they omitted, it was New York, L.A., San Francisco or something. Because now they're blaming, they're like, well, there's a different way to calculate them now. Shut up. And so basically, they're not calculating in the overall number those major cities. because the way they calculate them I don't know. It's a bunch of BS, but
Jeez.
I would love to see the difference in the crime rate in America if you put those 3 cities, because that's the way it is with gun issues, right?
Oh, yeah.
You take out the blue cities, the progressive cities like New Orleans, Chicago,
There's
New
just
York.
a few cities. If you take it out, we have one of the lowest gun rates in the world. So, but you can't do that.
You out of that tunnel yet? I wanted to ask you.
No, not
you
yet.
thought
I'm telling you, it is a long tunnel. I don't know.
You've been having a
when I'm
banter.
coming out the other
You've
side.
been bantering with me. Are you that good at just guessing what I'm saying over here?
Well, we've done this for a long time.
You're a
together.
professional,
Yeah,
but you're
exactly.
That's impressive, dude. Let me know when you're out, and I'll ask you that question about the future of America.
All right.
Help us.
William Shatner said seeing Earth from space aboard Jeff Bezos' Blue Origin rocket was a profoundly sorrowful experience. Wait, it made him feel sorrowful? But it was one which inspired him to cherish the beauty of our planet. Now, do we still have...
Yeah, he was really into it.
He was...
We'll recall.
Yeah, it didn't sound like he was sorrowing there, did it?
Yeah.
It sounded a little bit different.
On the other end of the
than
spectrum from sorrow.
Yeah, it didn't seem like sorrow to me.
Yeah.
But that's what he says it was. In an excerpt from his new memoir, Boldly Go, Reflections on a Life of Awe and Wonder.
Oh, yeah.
Revealed that the 91-year-old Star Trek star was struck with one of the strongest feelings of grief he had ever experienced.
Oh, wait.
See if you think this is grief.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, no.
Carmeline.
No description can equal this.
Yeah.
Weightlessness.
Weightlessness.
Oh, my God.
Oh, he's sorrowful.
Yes. Sounds like he's grief-stricken, doesn't it?
Listen to that
Oh,
sorrow.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
That's a load of
man.
sorrow.
Oh,
Ooh, baby.
me.
Yes. Yeah.
So awkward.
Oh. Wow.
I can't believe this.
So sad.
I don't know about you, but that's not exactly how I sound when I'm grief-stricken.
Okay.
Maybe I'm unique in that that's not necessarily grief to me.
Sounds of Sorrow.
Mm-hmm.
William Shatner. High above the earth.
He says, I had thought that going into space would be the ultimate catharsis of that connection I've been looking for between all living things, that being up there would be the next beautiful step to understanding the harmony of the universe. In the film Contact, when Jodie Foster's character goes to space and looks out into the heavens, she lets out an astonished whisper. They should have sent a poet. I had a different experience because I discovered that the beauty isn't out there, it's down here with all of us. Leaving that behind made my connection to our tiny planet even more profound. It was among the strongest feelings of grief I have ever encountered. The contrast between the vicious coldness of space and the warm nurturing of Earth below filled me with overwhelming sadness. Every day we're confronted with the knowledge of further destruction of Earth at our hands.
I'd hate to hear him happy. I don't want to hear him happy if that's sorrow.
I know. Right?
Weightlessness.
Okay. All right. Yep. The extinction of animal species, of flora and fauna, things that took 5 billion years to evolve. And suddenly we will never see them again because of the interference of mankind. It filled me with dread. My trip to space was supposed to be a celebration. Instead, it felt like a funeral. Well, if that's what you sound like at funerals,
Wow.
dude, I don't know what to tell you. I really don't.
Don't get William Shatner near a funeral home. It could get awkward.
It could.
Ooh.
Yeah, it could. All right, 888-933-93. More Pat Gray Unleashed coming up.
Now back to Pat Gray on the Blaze Radio Network.
A few tweets here about the roughing the passer call yesterday on Tom Brady by the Falcons. The proper way to tackle Tom Brady is to slowly walk up to him and politely ask him to sit down so you can gently touch him on the shoulder pad.
Oh, that's a good tweet from Sarah. Yeah, I like that.
Stu's invisible Bentley. Will those who firebombed the pregnancy centers pay a price for anything? No, of course not. Absolutely not. They're doing humanity a service. Don't you understand that? Jimmy Dimples, dozens of feds to take down one pro-life dad. I wonder if they can top the record Alberta, Canada's police set when they shut down that church staying open during COVID. Maybe.
Yep.
I think they're trying to.
One of the same.
From Holy Smokes, where did all the fact checkers go on social media? If Trump tweeted the sky is blue, there would be a missing context label. I'm going to need a drink. I know it's hard to take. It really is. Yeah. Great point here from that Chan.
Mark, did a guy named Mark call or something?
Yeah, Mark. Mark from Pennsylvania called in to say 2 million people working 2 jobs before Biden. 7 million people working 2 jobs now. Holy cow.
There's your job increase. Having to pay the bills during Biden inflation.
Interesting. Comrade Snoobage, bragging that people have to take a second or third job due to Biden's inflation isn't a good thing.
There you go.
Yeah.
That is the key.
Sure is. And from Jimmy James, 1883, where did all the... Oh, you already read that one. Adrian, though, tweeted about Biden's Nord Streaming the Keystone Pipeline before it was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little sabotage on the Keystone Pipeline. Like, we just ended it. Didn't even have to blow it up. Just stop it. Did you see the bridge that was blown up in Crimea by a suicide bomber over the weekend? There's actually footage of that. It was actually recorded.
Watch the lead truck on the right. Keep watching that. Okay. There's your...
Oh, jeez.
Bridge is out now.
Whoa. Wow.
That bridge connecting Russia to Crimea. Yeah, that's what did it right there.
Is that the only one that connects the two?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's your lifeline. Because then there's another bridge, a couple bridges that go off between Ukraine and Crimea. But that was the one that connects Russia. I think that's the only way in. Now, today, there's been explosions in Kyiv and, the Ukrainian capital. And then they've blown up a bridge or something there. It's just been gross.
It's escalating. Things are escalating. And I think Putin's getting a little more desperate because the Russians actually seem to be losing right now. They're in full retreat in the areas that they took a while ago. Several months ago, they made some real strides and made some headway in Ukraine and took a lot of the area that is nearest to Russia. But now, because of the counteroffensive from Ukraine, they've been pushed back. And so I think they're pretty embarrassed to the point of humiliation now. And who knows what he's going to do when he gets really desperate. And, of course, there is a war in Ukraine. But have you seen what's going on in Uganda? In 1 week, in 1 week, President Museveni's son offered to marry Georgia Maloney and to pay a bride the price of 100 cows, and actually tried to start a war with Kenya via Twitter, and ultimately got fired from his post as Uganda's infantry commander.
So let's go through these. What was his tweet to the new Italian prime minister?
I would give her 100 Encore cows immediately for being fearless and true.
Oh, okay.
I got some cattle.
I'm driving to the town.
So he's smitten.
Now, he says, for my Italian friends, because they maybe aren't familiar with this, these are Encore cows. The most beautiful cows on earth.
They are pretty cool looking.
I know Europeans give girls things like flowers. They like flowers. I've never understood it. In our culture, you give a girl you like a cow.
I see. All right, and he's giving her
100 of them.
There's a lot of interest, I
Talk
would
about
say.
generosity.
Right?
I mean, she can't turn that down, right? 100 cows?
How could you?
I'm in.
And don't they look cool?
Yeah,
look
they
at
do.
the little horns and stuff. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. They're kind of like longhorns here in Texas,
Yeah, but
except the horns are thicker.
Thicker and about the same length, probably, right?
Close.
Okay.
From somebody.
Yeah, so that's the son.
Yeah, this is the son, Mahuzi.
Yeah, he's still tweeting. He can't stop, right?
It wouldn't take us, my army and me, 2 weeks to capture Nairobi. Oh, all right.
I think that's his son. I don't know. Yeah.
And then someone replied, sir, for the good of this country, stop tweeting.
Yeah, stop tweeting.
Yeah, that's great.
So
Yeah.
do we have an update? Are there wedding bells
Have not
in
seen
Italy
that.
or Uganda?
I don't think quite yet.
Cal's
I don't know what.
making a trip to.
I mean, don't sleep on this offer. It's 100 cows.
You know what? Give the world another 12 months in these economic conditions.
And maybe you should be taking them up on that.
That might be an offer.
Mm.
Yeah.
That you just can't refuse.
You gotta consider.
Especially for 100, that'll last you a while.
Yeah. Yeah,
Really would.
You could freeze that stuff.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And you got to hope the electricity stays on, though.
Well,
Then it's ruined. Then what have you done?
yeah,
You got married for nothing.
true.
No cows.
You'd have to put the meat in salt, do it the old-fashioned way,
Ooh.
preserve it that way, which is it's not ideal.
Or what is the word that Sue uses?
It's not suboptimal.
Suboptimal. If you're salting your meat instead of putting it in the freezer.
Yeah, not good.
Yeah.
Suboptimal. Saturday was a wild day for PayPal, too. PayPal sucks.
Wow. This was
Have you seen what they've been doing lately?
Oh, yeah. What they did with
My gosh.
gays against groomers, shut
Yeah.
them down.
Shut them down completely.
And then I didn't realize this until this weekend. I didn't realize Venmo was a part of PayPal.
Oh, I didn't know that
Because
either.
Venmo did the same thing to gays against groomers.
Okay, are they owned by PayPal?
I guess they're a subsidiary. Yeah, sure.
I didn't know that.
I didn't either.
So they backtracked now on a published policy that would have fined users $2,500 for spreading misinformation, claiming the update had gone out in error.
This is as insane
This is amazing.
as it sounds.
An AUP notice recently went out in error.
Yeah.
This is their claim.
What is that? Acceptable uses and practices. So this is the
Okay.
fine print when you sign up for PayPal.
The stuff we don't know,
Right.
Because we don't read it.
Mm-hmm.
But it included incorrect information. PayPal is not fining people for misinformation, and this language was never intended to be inserted in our policy. Really? Wasn't it?
Did the keys just magically
Come on.
press themselves into this
Right.
word in these sentences?
Our teams are working to correct our policy pages. We are sorry for the confusion this has caused, according to a spokesperson. So the thing was, if they deem that you've given misinformation, say on Twitter or wherever.
Anywhere. It wasn't specific where.
Yeah. So wherever they see it, they could go into your account and take $2,500 from you.
Yeah, look at this Keith Malinak questioning the results of the 2020 election.
We're going to take $2,500
See if he's
from
got
him.
a PayPal account. Everybody's got a PayPal account, right? Let's see. Oh, there he is. Hey, he already agreed that through the terms and conditions that we can take $2,500 out of his checking account if we see something online, disinformation. Screw you. I mean, this is horrific.
And it's shocking the kinds of things that we've missed by just saying, I agree, let me in.
Yeah.
I agree, let me do it. I agree, give it to me. And wow, they're going to give it to us because we have no idea what we've signed on to.
Yeah.
How many companies have policies, have things like this written into their AUP notices?
Well, congratulations to PayPal for learning how the free market works, because over the weekend there was severe and very quick backlash from the public.
Which is why they're backtracking so hard.
Exactly. They're backtracking because people were closing their accounts saying,
Oh, I would.
screw you, PayPal, I'm done.
Right.
I mean, it got to the point where people were reporting that when you would go to, disconnect your account, that like there was getting an error message, almost like they were either overwhelmed at PayPal or they decided to take that page offline and you had to call and actually do it over the phone.
Wow.
Yeah, it was I hope they enjoyed their Saturday up at the PayPal Executive Ranch.
So not only are they backtracking and saying, yeah, that's bad policy. It's that the policy shouldn't have even been there in the first place. Like they didn't even intend for it to be there. Well, then how did it get there?
It's weird, man. That's
how to get there. The course reversal, of course, comes because of all of this outrage.
Good.
And here's what a cryptocurrency entrepreneur said on Saturday. It's hard for me to openly criticize a company I used to love.
Yeah, this is the guy who started it, yeah.
And gave so much to. But PayPal's new AUP goes against everything I believe in. From one of the founders. A private company now gets to decide to take your money if you say something they disagree with. Insanity. Elon Musk said, agreed. So that was powerful.
That is. That's
powerful. The policy update had appeared to authorize the company to pull a significant sum of money from the accounts of users who spread misinformation, among other newly listed offenses. Oh, good.
Insanity.
Breaking the rule against misinformation and hate speech may subject you to damages, including liquidated damages of $2,500 per violation, which may be debited directly from your PayPal account. That's how it read.
This is corporate ESG.
Wow.
Just in a different form.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Or some might call it outright theft.
Yeah, there you go. Yep. Theft. That's a good word. Write that one down.
Wow. Just outrageous.
You coming out of that tunnel yet? I have a question for you.
No, I'm still deep in it.
What is this?
Yeah.
Are you in the channel? What are we doing here?
I don't know. I can't see anything because it's
question.
dark in here.
When you get out of there, I have a question for you, and I just want to get an answer. So let me know, okay?
I sure will.
All right.
Get right on that. Meanwhile, we're going to take a look at some races going on around the country. Things like Mandela Barnes running against
Ron Johnson
in Wisconsin for the U.S. Senate. And apparently, Mandela Barnes, fairly recently?
2013.
Okay, well.
So it was
within 10 years, way after the 2008 dust-up with Reverend Jeremiah Wright. But he actually said the man is brilliant. After a speech accusing Israel.
Right.
After Jeremiah Wright made a speech accusing Israel of ethnic cleansing. The man is brilliant? Okay. All right.
Hot take.
If you say so. Barnes posted an Instagram photo of himself shaking hands with Wright at a small group dinner in Milwaukee in 2013. What's for certain is that the man is brilliant.
Yeah.
It was amazing to hear Dr. Jeremiah Wright speak this evening. Okay, great. Barnes' comments could add to the perception that the lieutenant governor holds radical views that are out of step with the state voters. You think? Barnes' applause for Wright came years after his former congregant, Barack Obama, of course, famously cut ties with him in 2008. But this guy was still all over Jeremiah Wright.
Yeah.
And you remember him from GD America and of course,
No.
Ugh. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then Mandela Barnes was asked, because remember he had that tweet from 2017 when Steve Scalise got shot on the baseball field they were practicing for the baseball game, the Republicans were. Mm-hmm. And so he's like, wow, Steve Scalise really took one for the team. I can't believe he's not against guns and all this stuff. And it was very distasteful. So I guess a reporter asked him if he should apologize to Steve Scalise, and here's what happened.
Recently, Barnes came under new criticism after a 2017 tweet resurfaced, where Barnes criticized Republican House Minority Whip Steve Scalise for still supporting gun rights after Scalise was shot and nearly died. Scalise recently called the tweet disgraceful.
Do you owe him an apology?
I'll tell you, any lawmaker who ignores what's happening and decides to do nothing, those are the folks who owe families all across America, all across Wisconsin, all across the city of Milwaukee. I believe that Ron Johnson owes people an apology. The fact is, what he supported was a violent insurrection.
It was a violent insurrection.
Oh.
Okay, so we're throwing it now to January 6th.
We were able to wedge January 6th in there. There it is. Look at that violent insurrection.
I I just threw up a little bit.
Did you really?
Yeah, because of the violence there. Look at that. Look at that.
Mm.
I mean, I don't.
So Steve
I can't
Scalise
abide it.
and Ron Johnson owe American families an apology for supporting the Second Amendment.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Right. These are some of the worst candidates of all time.
And the thing that's shocking is that they're lieutenant governors in their state.
Yeah.
Whether it's Mandela Barnes or John Fetterman.
And maybe because they weren't such high-profile races in the past, we didn't really know where they stood then. I mean, they're showing us who they are now. And I got to believe Americans they can't possibly vote for these guys. Right? Please don't vote for these people. I mean, you got Fetterman, you've got Mandela Barnes, you've got Katie Hobbs.
Yeah, we've got some good clips from her that are enlightening. Stacey Abrams, we've got a clip from her. It was a busy weekend for Democratic hopefuls seeking higher office.
And they're terrible. They are terrible. Can the American people not recognize terrible anymore? It's frightening. If these are the kinds of people we elect, we're going to get what we have coming to us.
Let's see here. What is that? What's that Rasmussen Reports tweet that I referenced earlier? That look, polling is just irrelevant at this point, since the issue of fraud has not been resolved in our elections.
Mm-hmm. Well, we'll see. We'll play this Katie Hobbs, who is running against Kari Lake, who is a great candidate.
Yeah, Hobbs refuses to debate.
Will not debate her because she knows she'd get crushed.
Yep.
She'd get absolutely
and when you see these
Kari
clips of Katie Hobbs, you'll see why she refuses to debate.
Yeah, no question about it. We'll get to that. We've got some John Fetterman information for you.
Oh, good. Do we have an
Stacey
update on the
Abrams?
thing on his neck? Does it have we named it yet?
I don't know. I don't think it's been named yet. No. We'll get into that. And lots more, by the way, coming up. October 10th, Columbus Day.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So some schools are out today, right? Some businesses closed. Not very many, but it's also in addition or maybe instead of in some areas, it's Indigenous Peoples Day.
Yes, Indigenous Peoples Day.
Right.
I love it.
It's
I
great.
love it.
That's great.
This is...
Because, obviously,
Good
Columbus,
stuff.
Mass murderer.
Thank you.
Yes, if you will. Incredible.
You know what? October 10th, 732 is an important day in world history. That's the day that Charles the Hammer Martel, as depicted on my shirt here, that was the day that Western civilization was saved from the invading Muslim forces near Tours, France.
I was just going to bring that up.
You going to say that?
I'm
Yeah.
just going to bring that up.
And so what's
Yeah.
been great
Weird.
is for nearly
We're on the same wavelength.
Yeah, for nearly 1,300 years, Pat, Western civilization, the trajectory has been upward. Here there's been bumps along the way, sure.
Yeah.
And then we hit the Joe Biden administration, and now we're on our way back to...
Fortunately, there's some great candidates that are going to bring us back to reality.
Oh, good.
Yeah, we got this woman in Arizona running against Kari Lake. If you've seen Kari Lake at all, you know she's a great candidate. She's always challenged by journalists, by these news people, and she just puts them in their place virtually every time. Really, really a good candidate. Well-spoken. She knows what she's doing. She's conservative, and she is trying desperately to get Katie Hobbs, her opponent, to debate her, and Katie Hobbs just won't. And maybe you're going to realize exactly why she won't here, because she absolutely sucks. She was asked about abortion yesterday.
What would the Hobbs administration's week limit be for abortion access? If it's not 15 weeks, what is it?
Give us a number.
Look, abortion is a very personal decision that belongs between a woman and her doctor. The government and politicians don't belong in that decision. We need to let doctors perform the care that they are trained
give us a
and
week
take an oath to perform.
Give us a limit.
So if an Arizona voter were to conclude from your previous answer that you do not favor any specific week limit on abortion, would they be correct?
Abortion again.
I support leaving the decision between a woman and her doctor and leaving politicians entirely out of it.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, these people are just downright evil. Give me a number. Is it 40 weeks? Because that's obviously her number. 40 weeks, 41 weeks. Maybe you've gone a little bit overtime on your pregnancy. It doesn't matter. You can just abort it up to and including delivery day, which is what she's saying exactly.
Yep.
Every time she dodges the question of how many weeks are acceptable. 21 weeks, if they're viable, 25, 30 weeks, 35 weeks. What's acceptable?
I believe an abortion should be left up to the woman and her doctor.
God, I can't take it.
Yeah.
So do you believe all murders should be left up to the person committing the murder and a doctor? Or how does that work? Or is it just the murders of babies? Where do we draw that line? Or do you draw that line? Because apparently she doesn't.
Okay, but that's just one issue. That's just the one issue. I'm sure she's got a great answer on.
Well, I'm sure.
Something like what? School choice? You wanna try Katie Hobbs on school choice?
Let's try that.
Okay.
And here she is on school choice.
Has expanded its empowerment scholarship account, which gives vouchers to students to attend private schools.
Because remember, they just changed it, the funding.
It's known also as school choice.
Yes.
School choice.
Explain to us why you oppose it.
Why do you oppose school choice?
It does harm public education. It takes education dollars directly out of public schools and puts them into the hands of private schools at the expense of public school students. This does not create real choice for everyone. It's inequitable choice.
Because remember, Arizona is bold. Arizona has it now where you can take your money that you pay into the school system. If you want to homeschool your kids or send them to a private school, that money that would go into those public schools are now going to school choice for your kid. And she's saying, no, this hurts public schools. Well, make them better then. Oh, my gosh. The money stays with the student.
Yeah.
Novel concept, right?
As it should. As it should.
So I can't.
Obviously, she can't debate Kari Lake.
Can't sell you on Katie Hobbs?
No.
She had this other long, meandering answer with that same guy who said, what's one thing that the Hispanic community has taught you? And she couldn't. 1/3 of Arizona is Latino. And she just, it went on for like 2 minutes. And he kept saying, so is there one thing? I just love all Arizonans and stuff. And anyway, they're good.
So bad.
Ugh.
She would be destroyed by Kari Lake in a debate.
She's wise to not debate.
Oh, yeah, she is, because she's ahead. At least last I saw, she was up by 1 point. So it's virtually tied because you got the margin of error there, plus or minus 3 points or whatever. So she was up, I think, 48-47 in the last poll I saw. But
who was? Katie Hobbs?
Yeah. Yeah. It's unreal. It's really unbelievable. Then we got Stacey Abrams running for governor of Georgia.
Running for re-election of governor?
Yes, right. Yes, re-election. Because of course, she won. Yeah. Election fraud, of course, which was acceptable to talk about then. She was asked about voter suppression by Shannon Bream on Fox News Sunday, and that Shannon Bream, that's her show now.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
She was promoted to that
Fox News
a few months ago. Here's what she had to say.
But the direct quote from his ruling says no evidence that a voter couldn't vote, experienced wait times, or was confused about voter registration status. And I know the issue here for you is voter suppression. So let's look at the numbers in Georgia. The last gubernatorial primary versus now, there's a net increase of 763,380 voters. That sounds like the opposite.
More voters?
Voter suppression is not about turnout. It's about the barriers and obstacles to access. And that's one of the other conflations that I think is very important that we distinguish. Voter suppression exists when there's difficulty registering, staying on the rolls, being able to cast a ballot and having that ballot counted. And in the state of Georgia, we adequately proved, and more voters have experienced difficulties with doing so.
No, because there's more voters. You can spin that anyway. Or no, it's not about getting a lot of voters. It's about voter access. What do you mean?
What? I mean, that was their argument. Was
the access leads to more voters?
Yes, that was their whole argument. Oh, Governor Kemp made sure when he was in his role with the election people that he would get the voters off the rolls. Mm-hmm. And so Shannon Bream's like, you got like plus 763,000 more voters in Georgia. It seems like the opposite. Well,
763,000 more.
Yeah.
It's amazing that they can still claim somehow they're still making the point. No, that's voter suppression. No, it isn't. No. You're not suppressing the vote when 763,000 more voters are voting. Wow. They had record numbers in the last Georgia election.
Yeah.
And they're still claiming suppression.
And now, let's just say,
wow.
Somehow, Stacey Abrams is declared the winner this fall in Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
And there is some evidence that shows that, let's take a closer look at this. There's some issue here I have with how these votes were counted, or let's take a look and see what happened at Phillips Arena and all that good stuff, right? With the counting of the votes. Then all of a sudden, you go into election denier mode. I mean, they turn on a dime, and it's so disingenuous and so obvious. How could you, in good conscience, vote for any Democrat at this point?
I don't know. I don't know. But somehow it happens.
Grover Cleveland.
Somehow it happens.
Last electable Democrat.
That was a while ago.
A little bit ago. Well, Jeffy knows. That was the last Democrat he voted for.
And now we've got information on John Fetterman's schedule as lieutenant governor in Pennsylvania. In his campaign for the U.S. Senate seat, he takes credit for reinventing Pennsylvania's lieutenant governor's office. He's transformed it from a political pit stop into a bully pit from which he's advanced progressive causes, he says. Records from Fetterman's 4 years in office, however, offer kind of a different portrait of his time in the $179,000 a year job, which is why he doesn't need the $54,000 from his parents anymore. They show Fetterman typically kept a light work schedule and was often absent from state business, including presiding over the state Senate, which is one of his chief duties, according to the Associated Press. Now, this is before the stroke. Mm-hmm. This is pre-stroke. So
I don't want to hear, he was at a doctor's appointment dealing with his health issues.
Right.
Shut up.
The review found that Fetterman's daily schedule was blank during roughly 1/3 of workdays from January 2019, when he took office, to May of this year, when he suffered the serious stroke. So it doesn't include anything post-stroke at all. Even on days where his schedule showed he was active, a typical workday for him lasted between 4 and 5 hours. That's good. That's a good gig if you can get it.
Yeah.
Fetterman's campaign didn't explain the gaps in his schedule. In a statement, his spokesman, John Calvello, said that this report is a misleading and inaccurate reflection of John's actual schedule that totally fails to capture the breadth of his official work and his accomplishments.
Oh, let's get a list.
Fetterman didn't respond to interview requests, but he said in a statement that he's, quote, shown I can have an impact beyond the prescribed power of a given office, unquote. No, I don't think you have shown that.
Wow.
In fact, I think you've shown quite the opposite. And then, of course, there's this.
Can this administration right now guarantee?
No, it's not that. It's more like this.
And the Eagles are so much better than the Eagles.
No.
Still undefeated, by the way.
The Eagles?
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Only undefeated team.
Wow.
5-0.
Stu must be psyched.
Well, I mean, because they're better than the Eagles.
Well, yeah.
The Eagles being
better than the Eagles. No. If he gets elected, I'm telling you, we're done. We're done.
How are we here?
I don't know. I really don't know.
Like, we've chronicled our entire careers in talk radio, the slouching toward Gomorrah, as Raymond Bork titled his book. But I mean, this is Insanityville.
It is. Yeah. It's something just a few years ago, you could not conceived of it. You could never have guessed that we'd be in a position like this, where people who are just incapable of serving in the office, and it's so unbelievably clear that they're compromised mentally, and it doesn't matter. They get elected anyway.
I can't remember where I said this. I don't know if it was on another show or whatever. Did I say this on the air where I was like, how have we gone in 2 decades? You remember the summer of 2001, before 9/11 happened, we were arguing about tax cuts, and Bush was sending a rebate in the mail, and we couldn't believe the Democrats were like, this is irresponsible. And that was what we were debating. And it was frustrating then that we had to have an argument about getting money back from our paychecks. And now we're arguing about how many genders are there? Should this guy, this invalid, be elected to the U.S. Senate? I mean, this is irreparable.
Should the invalid in the Oval Office continue to occupy it?
Exactly.
That's really amazing.
It's madness, man. You out of that tunnel yet? I got a question for you.
No, not yet. We're
going to run out of showtime.
Pretty soon.
What tunnel are you in today?
I don't know. I don't know what it's called, but it's really long. It's long and it's dark, believe me.
Yes, it is. That's a nice metaphor for this country right now. So.
Meanwhile, Dr. Oz spoke at a private fundraiser in Southern California. His campaign apparently thought, this is according to the Mediaite article, his campaign apparently thought it was a good idea for him to do it while standing in front of one of Adolf Hitler's old cars.
Oh, my gosh.
He was at a history museum.
They try so hard. Stop.
They've got to smear him somehow, some way. And so I guess because he was at a museum and you could see one of Hitler's cars behind him, that must mean what? He's a Nazi?
Okay.
He's a Nazi sympathizer?
And what party is he in?
The Republican Party.
And what have the Democrats been warning us about?
The fascism coming out of the Republican Party.
There you go.
White supremacy.
There it is.
There it is, rearing its ugly head once again.
Not even shy about it.
No, they don't care.
Took the mask off, didn't you, Dr. Oz?
So pathetic.
I do need to follow up on the puppies, though. Just saying.
Yeah. If you're trying to sell your home, you know what a challenge that is. It's a big challenge right now, and it's such an important investment for you. You want to sell your house quickly and for the most amount of money, and you need a realtor who can help you make all the tough decisions. Should you repaint? Should you remodel? Should you just at least change the countertops in your kitchen if you've had it for a long time? These are the kinds of things that your realtor can steer you in the right direction of. Real Estate Agents I Trust is Glenn's company. He had his team fully vet all of these agents across the country. And if there wasn't somebody who was really exceptional in a certain area, we just didn't have an agent in that area. But there are something like 1,500 of them nationwide. So chances are really good you're going to be able to find one in your area to suit your needs. Whether you're buying or selling or doing both because you're relocating, Real Estate Agents I Trust. These are the people you need to turn to. realestateagentsitrust.com.
Pat Gray. Pat Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
With some tweets, Defied to the End tweets. I really want to hear Fetterwoman's pick for the Eagles game in Week 6. Well, considering, that that the Eagles are better than the Eagles, it's tough to say.
And the Eagles
are
so much better
than
the Eagles.
Yeah, that's I don't know. Who do you pick?
Yeah.
Who do you pick?
So,
no.
Is that do the Eagles have the Eagles on their schedule next week? Is that it's Cowboys.
Oh wow. It's a big week for them.
It is.
Also from Devin Crossley, locked out of truck, but at least I have Pat Gray Unleashed. to listen to while I'm locked out.
Good luck.
Oh,
that sucks.
Yeah, it does. Mr. Sean's tweets, but they aren't indigenous people. Most of them came across the Bering Land Bridge from Indo-Asia. They came in waves, and later waves killed off the previous waves.
Right.
See? So.
That's a fact.
Yep. From Frank Johnson, how there be any voter suppression when even dead people can vote? Yeah, it's a good question. It's a really good question. And from Jimmy Dimples, can Americans recognize terrible anymore? I don't know. Lately, anyone decent has been so rare, it's been hard to gauge.
Yeah, and anybody decent that decides to run and get into public service gets destroyed by the media.
Yeah, for sure. This is fascinating because PBS just did an interview with Cori Bush last week. Cori Bush is one of the big radicals in Congress. She's a lot of times with the squad, and she's a socialist, essentially, just like AOC. But she was speaking about abortion. In fact, her abortions, I believe she's had 2. And listen to what she had to say about those abortions. Absolutely fascinating.
You became pregnant years later when you were 19. And you chose to have an abortion. You went to an abortion clinic. At this time, you were enrolled in university. You had started Harris Stowe State University. And you got to the clinic and had second thoughts.
Yes.
Walk me through what happened.
So I was thinking back to the first abortion. Okay, you've done this before. You know the rooms. You know what it looks like. You know what it feels like in this place. You know what to expect. You know that you may experience even some harm or some racism in this space.
Wait,
like,
what?
I thought I was ready.
Because you had experienced racism previously.
I had.
Okay, but she's thinking, because of her previous experience, that in the abortion clinic you might experience some harm or racism? Huh. At a Planned Parenthood? You mean that was specifically founded for that purpose, to cause blacks harm and racism? That's fascinating. All right. Tell us more.
So I thought I was ready. And I went in and I went through all the steps because they were like, it's almost like an assembly line. You know, you go from room to room.
Weird.
And I got into the last room. I was helped up onto the table by the nurse.
Okay.
And I laid there and I started to think, well, one, I didn't tell the father that was about to happen.
Oh, wow.
I just felt like I needed more time.
Okay.
So I said, no, you know what? I'm not ready. And the nurse just, wouldn't listen to me. And I said, no, I'm not ready. And as I'm saying no, they continued to pull the instruments and, get everything ready. And it was just like, no, calm down. No, you're going to be okay.
So you were telling them that you didn't want to move forward.
Yes.
And they were ignoring
And
you.
they're moving forward.
They absolutely
anyway.
ignored me, even to the point of, like calm down, as if I was the problem. And so I didn't really know, I didn't understand at that point where I had a voice, like who listens to me. And so I remember laying there looking to see if there was someone else in the room that would listen to me.
My gosh.
And they ended up during this time, they put the instrument inside me and started the instrument.
Wait, what?
So it was, and I'm saying no.
So she's looking around for somebody to help her. Looking around is, do I have an ally in here? I'm saying no. I don't want the abortion. They just put the instrument in it anyway. That is unbelievable.
But it was too late because you couldn't stop once.
Right. Once
it
you start. Yeah.
Why do you think they didn't listen to you?
The same as other times where I haven't been listened to by a provider or medical staff. I was a young Black woman.
And you're at a Planned Parenthood clinic where they're trying to eliminate Black babies. and they're succeeding at unbelievable rates. She just described a rape abortion. A forced, what is this, communist China? Where you've gotten a forced abortion? She says no, and you do the procedure anyway? Why isn't this all over the news? Are you kidding me? They rape aborted you? That is unbelievable to me. That is as racist as it gets.
And how can she still support these groups?
I don't know. I honestly don't know, but she does, big time, of course. Even after this situation, even after this experience, where it was horrific and nobody supported you, they wouldn't listen to you because you're a young black woman. Wow, what an indictment against these abortion clinics. Wow. But it's going to be completely ignored. Completely ignored. I bet you people won't have Cori Bush on their interview shows much anymore. They don't want to hear that story.
Pat Gray.
Hey, some new Halloween flavors at Kexi.com. You should go there and use the promo code TheJeffy.
All right.
And you'll get 18% off.
I do like
18%.
Yeah, I like licking mummies.
Yeah?
As you know.
Okay. Well,
So-
this is a perfect opportunity. We have the new mummy Nutella.
That's what I was hoping.
Do you like Nutella?
Yeah, I do.
I love that stuff.
I do.
It's in the middle of this particular cookie.
Oh, it's in the middle?
It's in the middle of the cookie. It's so delicious. And the new butter beer, it's like the Harry Potter thing.
Like that too.
We also have the cinnamon roll, which is back and better than ever. And of course, all the favorite flavors like the salted caramel and chocolate chip and the Texas sheet cake. Again, the Jeffy is the promo code you put in at Kexi.com. KEKSI.com. All right. Got this, if you just eliminate guns,
okay,
there wouldn't be any more crime in America. I think we all agree on that, right? If you can just get rid of the guns.
I've heard people make that case.
Yeah, I have too.
Mm-hmm.
And of course we all believe it. Okay. Get rid of the guns. Well, a man, maybe it's not so true because a man charged with a brutal mass stabbing on the Las Vegas Strip.
Oh, this is horrible.
That left 2 people dead and 6 injured.
Could have been anyone.
Of course, is a Guatemalan who's in the country illegally. Yanni Barrios has a criminal record in California, but Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE, had no record of him at all before this brutal stabbing attack. Yeah, because California's, they've got a bunch of sanctuary cities. It's a sanctuary state. And you certainly don't want to disparage somebody who's in the country illegally, right? You don't want that. He faces 2 charges of murder and 6 counts of attempted murder. Be in Clark County Court next week. Barrios' victims included 8 people, and the attack occurred before 12 p.m. Near the Wynn Las Vegas Hotel. Jeez, just really sad. Really sad. Happened in broad daylight. Unbelievable. And, the defenders of illegal immigration will say,
we got murderers here, too, that kill people. Why is this such a big deal?
Because here's a situation where we don't need Guatemala's murderers, too. Okay? We got enough of our own. Yes, we do. We didn't need this guy. Here's people who would have been alive had this guy not been in the country illegally.
Yep.
It's agonizing. Meanwhile, defiant people in these liberals who just don't make any sense found this tweet. Defiant L's found a tweet from last year from New York Mayor Eric Adams.
I love it when they do this.
Who tweeted out, this is amazing. Last year he tweeted out, "We should protect our immigrants. Yes, New York City will remain a sanctuary city under an Adams administration." Good. Okay, well, that's powerful. And then
on Friday?
He tweeted this on Friday, the 7th, so that was Friday.
Yeah, so Daily Wire then tweets out his change in policy, apparently.
Eric Adams declares a state of emergency over New York City's immigrant crisis. We have not asked for this. No, you really did. No, you did by becoming a sanctuary city. Sorry, but you did.
Yeah, don't be hating now, Eric.
There was never any agreement to take on the job of supporting thousands of asylum seekers.
Wow. Wow.
Well, wait. Either you're a sanctuary city or you're not.
You signed up for this, bro.
Yeah, you did.
Oh.
Yes, he did.
Don't be hating now. And see, this is, you know what? This is liberalism in practice, right? When you
Yes.
when you actually try to apply what you're saying and what you're, this rosy picture that you paint,
all of a sudden they don't like it.
Yeah, and it collapses in on itself. Send more. Send more.
Yes, keep doing it.
Obviously, DeSantis has been a little busy with the hurricane and the aftermath of that, which, by the way, you notice there's been no criticism. He's done such a great job that they have tried and they have failed at trying to make him look bad.
Yeah, except he was too prepared.
Yeah.
And he's already restored electricity to almost 100% of Florida. So
he did?
Yeah. Well,
Cool.
he did himself. Yeah, he was out there on the poles.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah, on the line.
Maybe
He's
Ted
a
Cruz,
lineman.
Ted Cruz can learn a thing
Or two.
from Ron DeSantis then,
yes.
right?
Well, that's what happens when you stay in your state and you don't go to Mexico on vacation. you stay
go.
there and you restore power to your neighborhoods.
So as things, slowly get back to normal for the state of Florida, maybe Ron DeSantis can, get a few more of those charter flights taken care of.
Yes.
Did you see
Hope so.
another bus? And I don't know where this came from, probably Texas, pulled up in front of the vice president's house again last week. So that's fun. That's always fun.
That's so great.
So, yeah, I think Martha's Vineyard and New York City are waiting for some more flights there.
Fantastic.
Governor DeSantis.
Well, Martha's Vineyard they can't tolerate another 50 people in their community. Martha's Vineyard just they can't be bothered with another 50 people. That's just overwhelming to them. So they're going to have to send them somewhere else. I mean, it's not that we don't want them here. We do. We just have no place to put them. No place at all in these 30,000 square foot homes.
I would contend that, at least in the case of New York City, I've seen how many people are moving out of that joint. So I think you got plenty of space for these illegals.
Yeah, I think so.
Right? To kind of replace all the people that have moved to Florida.
Yeah, no
and
question.
Texas. And places where there's still some common sense left.
But
no, isn't it fun? I think
fun.
it's fun. I like
It
seeing
is
them
fun.
scramble like this. And
It's one of the best political ideas ever. And it was, I think, wasn't it Abbott that started it? He started it, right? And then DeSantis kind of picked up.
That's
on
my
it.
understanding.
Yeah.
He was the first.
Also, a violent sex offender has been awarded more than $2.5 million in legal fees after suing the state for withholding gender-affirming care while he was incarcerated. And he was incarcerated because he sexually abused a 15-year-old boy.
Oh. So this guy is in prison in Idaho, right?
Yes.
Because of
in
sexually
Idaho.
abusing a 15-year-old boy.
Yep.
And while he's in there, he wants a sex change, and he forces the state to pay for it.
Adri Edmo, formerly known as Mason Edmo, first launched a lawsuit against the state of Idaho and the State Department of Corrections medical provider after being denied in 2017 the gender surgeries that he wanted. In the lawsuit, Edmo had sought access to a legal name change, gender-appropriate clothing, and gender-affirming surgeries. If you're affirming your gender, I'm going to say it again. If
what?
you're affirming your gender,
okay,
then you're staying the gender you are,
So
and
no
you're
surgery
affirming that. So no surgery
necessary.
Yeah, I'm going to call BS on this gender-affirming thing. I don't think you know what that means. Anyway, he was housed in a male prison at the time. How terrible!
Because he had
because he's, I don't know, a male.
He had junk.
How dare you house a male in a male prison? He also demanded a transfer to a woman's facility. So in 2018, a judge ruled that he was at risk of irreparable harm without the surgery and ordered the state to pay for it. Why would you ever have to pay for a sex change operation for a prisoner or anybody from taxpayer dollars? How could that happen? Why would that happen? Why are the people of Idaho responsible for your medical bills? That's unbelievable. That really is something. So the state appealed, with one of their lawyers noting that the medical professionals treating him agreed he didn't qualify for the surgery due to his uncontrolled mental health issues. The state's lawyer also said that Edmo had refused to participate in therapy to help prepare for the procedure. The appeal was unsuccessful, though, and Edmo received his surgery and was subsequently transferred to a women's prison in 2020 to serve the remainder of his sentence. So he got the surgery. He was released last year. On Monday, Judge Windmill awarded. So not only did he get the surgery, not only was he transferred to a women's prison, not only was a name change okayed, he was also awarded $2.5 million in legal fees and court expenses. Wait, the state paid for his medical procedure, and apparently all of the legal fees. And now you're going to give him $2.5 million in legal fees that I don't think he paid. Wow.
But this is
wow.
This is a crazy far left radical state, like
like Idaho.
California.
Yeah, like Idaho.
Okay.
Crazy far left Idaho. Judge Windmill lowered the attorney's original request from $2.82 million. Oh, so he just wanted to be reasonable and only gave him $2.58 million.
Tell you what I can do. I got a hang on. I got a here we go. I got a promo code I can punch in for you, and let's see if this helps
that'd
out
be great.
any. Let's see.
Yeah.
So you want the $2.8 million?
Yeah.
Let me try this code here that I've got.
Okay.
All right, $2.5 million. What do you think?
2.58.
2.58.
And I might agree to it.
God, this is a nightmare.
Jeez. I don't understand our world right now. It's completely upside down.
It's never coming back to. It's never going to be back in phase where you can understand it. I'm afraid.
I fear that. I hope that's not true, but it doesn't look good right now.
I have a question for you. If you're out of that tunnel yet,
I just came through the tunnel.
Oh, good. Okay,
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So, what does the future look like for America? What do you think?
Oh, it's bright. It's so bright. You're going to have to wear shades. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
right.
good.
Yeah. So buy yourself some really nice sunglasses.
Thanks for restoring hope. I was
bright.
fearful of where you would go with that answer. And
No. You needn't be.
Good
I'm
things.
an optimist.
Good things ahead for America.
Yeah.
I'm glad to hear it. You've put me at ease.
Good.
With that response.
Good.
But have you figured out what tunnel you were in that took you 2 hours to get through?
It's called the Big Tunnel. It's the Big Tunnel.
Wow. Okay.
Because it was really big. Took me like an hour and a half to get through it.
Was there traffic in there?
Big tunnel. No. It's just a
I
really
know how
long
fast
tunnel.
you drive too. Wow, that is a big tunnel. So long.
Let me tell you about Omega XL. Because we got all kinds of joints in our bodies, down our vertebrae, into our backs, our arms, hips, knees, feet, all of that. And sometimes they get inflamed and you develop some pain in those joints. That's why I started taking Omega XL, because of the science. When we're young, our bodies produce SPMs, nature's way of keeping our joints healthy. But as we age, we don't produce enough. And so that's where Omega XL comes in. It can restore your SPMs, rejuvenate your joints, and just make you feel better. It calms down that inflammation, and the pain goes away. Took about 2 weeks for it to completely go away for me, and it's great. It's all natural. You're not going to become addicted to some drug. Your body won't become dependent upon it. Visit OmegaXL.com/Pat. When you buy your first bottle, they'll give you a second one for free. OmegaXL.com/Pat or 800-844-4888.
Pat Gray is unleashed.
Is it amazing how many non-binary trans stories there are every day. I mean, seriously, every day it just gets more and more bizarre.
Yeah, and careful with the kids. I mean, we just, if we run out of ways to destroy the next generation, we just invent ways like through this. But they did this study, this longest follow-up study of transitions. It was published in 2011, and it spanned over 30 years, or it spanned for 30 years. And it showed that the suicide rate was 10 to 15 years, post-surgery was 20 times higher than the general population. So if you're going to let these kids get the sex change operations, just be prepared. They're
20
times more likely to kill themselves.
Oh, my gosh.
Than the general population.
Gosh, darn it.
But you don't hear about that, do you?
No, you don't.
And that was a long study. I forgot how many youths they tracked on this, but it was...
Well, you said 30 years, though, right?
Yeah, for 30 years. But I don't know
That's
how
crazy.
many kids were involved in that. But
wow.
Yeah.
Now, the Chicago Marathon has added a non-binary category to the marathon, but non-binary runners say that's not enough.
Okay.
For the first time ever, runners in the Bank of America Chicago Marathon will be able to compete in a non-binary category.
Good.
That's a term that refers to people who identify as neither male nor female. So you have your own group.
Yeah.
One of the world's most prestigious marathon races is no longer limiting participants to the gender categories of old, male and female.
Yeah, that's old school. Man.
But now you got the non-binary thing, so you can compete under a whole different classification. At the end of the day, we don't want people showing up being misgendered, having a negative experience. No one is advocating for that, according to marathon consultant Jake Fedorowski. Currently, fewer than 100 runners among the more than 40,000 registered to participate are competing in the non-binary category.
Okay, so look.
So your odds are a little bit better
right?
in the non-binary. I think that's the category I'd be in if I were to run in this race.
Okay, all right, yeah.
I'm non-binary.
Yeah, that's me.
I consider myself neither male nor female.
So that should be enough, right? We gave you your own category. Now be happy.
But they're not.
Okay.
For non-binary runner Cal Calamia, they're not going far enough.
Mm-hmm.
Calamia described the development as exciting, but he criticized marathon officials for not making a public announcement recognizing the non-binary category. Calamia also, we're announcing it here, so it must be made public.
Right.
He also condemned officials for not providing non-binary runners with a monetary prize.
There it is.
A finish line ribbon.
There we go.
Or an elite category.
Oh, shit.
Just gut check. Stop.
Please.
Okay, so wait. You've got to be non-binary and now elite? You're non-binary, and then you got non-binary elite.
It's all about the dollar signs, man.
Personally, it feels hurtful because it feels performative or brushed under the rug because it really is a big deal, Calamia said.
Wait, is this Calamia, Cat? Is this from boy to girl or girl to boy? Do we know?
I don't know if it says.
Because if it's from boy to girl, then it's been a successful transition.
Right.
If it's from girl to boy, you still got a ways to go if you're hurt by this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shut up.
Well, he's non-binary, so he's neither male nor female.
Oh, my bad. I don't want to put him in a box.
Yeah, don't do that. While we're excited to introduce the non-binary division, we recognize the opportunity for continued dialogue, learning, and progress with our event, according to the officials for the marathon. Discussions are ongoing with non-binary participants and leaders within our sport to work together towards our goal of creating a more inclusive event experience.
That means we're waiting to see how organized they are and if they're going to protest out front and give us bad pub.
Yeah. Yeah, and we're going to have to provide prize money for them. And it's going to have to be equal to the boys and girls, right?
Wait, how many people are in the Chicago Marathon?
40,000. 40,000.
So let's just for argument's sake, it's 20,000 women competing against each other, 20,000 dudes competing against each other for this top prize money.
Mm-hmm.
And this is less than 100 and they want the same deal?
Mm-hmm. I'm sure. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
No.
I know.
No, we'll give you a ribbon, right? That's what we said. And we'll give you an extra
Right.
T-shirt, maybe.
A ribbon and a T-shirt. I'm fine with that.
And we'll scribble. We'll just write gender non-specific above champ, and then we'll
The
hand you-
non-binary champion
Yeah.
of the Chicago Marathon.
Yeah. Hey, Martin, you got that extra thick Sharpie in there? Yeah, just bring it in here during the break, and we'll scribble it out on the shirt and make it official. We're not
so
giving
let's use
you.
brain cells before we
We're-
post things on the internet.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Thanks.
We're not giving you the prize. That's all this is about.
It's crazy. It's absolutely
No prize
outrageous.
money for you. Stop.
I'll bet they cave. I'll bet you they cave.
Well, that's what they're saying. They're in what dialogue right now?
Yeah, they're in dialogue, which
Yeah.
means, we're finding out how serious they are and how much they want, and we're going to cave into all of it. We're going to give them the ribbon. We're going to give them the elite category. We're going to give them the prize money, and then hopefully they'll get off our backs. I don't know. They'll probably not be happy even after they cave to every demand that's made.
They never are.
They're never. This never goes away. And when will people realize that? It never goes away. It's not going to be enough. So good luck with that. Good luck with that.
I don't know that I would even want to run through the streets of Chicago, though.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Who comes out ahead in this?
The gangs who are shooting at you.
Yeah.
But it's a lot like USA Soccer caved in to the women. I mean, they don't make the kind of money to warrant receiving the same salary as the men. It's just a fact of life. When the money is commensurate with the men, then we'll pay you the same. But no, despite the fact that it's, 10 or 20 times as much that the revenue from the men than the women, they still caved and gave them the same. So.
Good stuff.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Everybody just caves in. Nobody has the giblets anymore to just say, you know what? No, we're not going to do that. You know what? There's 100 of you non-binaries. There's no prize money there. Sorry.
Yeah.
No.
You're lucky we're even getting the Sharpie out for your T-shirt.
Right. You want the prize money? Either compete against the men or the women. Period.
No, but don't let the dudes.
But not the
compete
dudes
against the
competing.
women.
Right. Right. Oh, there's so much there, isn't there? You can't win. You can't win for losing on this. Jeez.
Ugh.
There's a video going around of a police officer who helps a return of someone who is apparently. Oh, this is pretty serious. Maybe we'll save that for later.
Okay.
We'll save that for tomorrow because I don't want to get into something really tragic right now.
Yeah. Now you're about to head down the hall. I think you've got something else going on today, huh?
Uh-huh.
Wow. Do we know where Stu went? I bet he's in mourning because the Blue Jays blew an 8-1 lead in their playoff game, and now they're eliminated by the Mariners.
Oh, they got eliminated completely? So it's Astros Mariners.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, so it's Astros Mariners, Indians, Yankees. I'm sorry. Guardians.
What?
Yeah, Guardians.
Oh, my.
Guardians, Yankees.
Wow. What kind of hatred what did you call them?
I don't know.
What did you call Cleveland? Did you...
The Cleveland
Did you
Native
just about call them the Cleveland Indians?
Native Americans.
Oh, my.
The Cleveland Native Americans.
Wow.
Sorry, the Indians. I mean, Guardians.
It's so stupid. I heard the Guardians were the series against the Black. And I'm like, the Guardians? Oh, yeah. Oh,
yeah. There you go. Isn't that
it
fun?
Sounds so stupid.
Yep. So
and fake.
Yeah. And then that's
Guardians.
the American League.
Yes.
So Guardians, Yankees, Astros, Mariners.
Okay.
And the National League features the Phillies and Braves, and the Dodgers versus the Padres. The Mets had won 100 games, or 101 games actually, I think. Yeah, 101. And
lost.
They're already done.
Wow. The Mets, man. I'm
So
sure glad I'm not a Mets
They were
fan.
in first all season long until 2 days. Next to the last game of the season, the Braves pulled ahead. That's why the Braves got the first round bye, and the Mets had to do that wild card series. I don't make the rules.
Oh, well, right. All right. We'll see you again tomorrow.
Pat Gray, only on the Blaze Radio Network.